Welcome everyone to the Business Management Capstone course. My name is David Hensley and I will be your instructor for this semester. Before we begin, I just want to let you know, since this is a capstone course, I'll be expecting the best out of each and every one of you. I will not accept work that is not up to par. I'll simply give you a 0, send it back until you try again. Keep in mind, this is capstone. I'm not trying to be harsh, but I do want to get you ready for the real world to graduate and to be successful. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started with the course. This video, I'll just give you a quick course overview. At any time, obviously, you can always reach out to me if you have any questions. You'll be in teams within this semester, so you can always reach out to your teammates as well if you have any questions. So we're going to start with announcements. Obviously, I'll be posting weekly announcements here. There actually will be video announcements. So I think that'll be much better than just text itself. I'll include a transcript of it with that said, though. It's kind of summarizing what assignments you should be working on that week. So if we move on, we'll go ahead and click on the Start Here area. At your earliest opportunity, you're going to want to walk through the 7 steps that are listed within the Start Here area. The next one we have is notifications. This will keep you up to date of what's currently due and what you should be working on in the future. Next, we have the instructor information. Of course, feel free to reach out to me at any time if you have any questions or concerns pertaining to the course. What I usually hear the most is concerns with teammates. And what I would say is try your best to work through any issues and concerns with those teammates before reaching out to me, because we are trying to simulate the real world and you will encounter teammates that you simply won't get along with, but you have to accomplish a task. So just keep that in mind. With that said, if it gets beyond what you can handle, reach out to me and I'll step in. Next, we have the syllabus and schedule. Go ahead and review both of those. This is a capstone class, so I'm sure you're familiar with the syllabus by now. And the assignment schedule will detail every single assignment that we will be completing this semester. There won't be any less and there won't be any more, so you can use that as a guide for you. Next, we have weekly modules. Each week you're going to see a folder for the weekly module. You absolutely want to review the weekly module. It has more information than just the shortcuts on the left-hand side menu does. So let's go ahead and click on the week 1 module. As you can see, there's going to be learning objectives for each week. Assignment summary. So for this week, where you'll be completing a class participation, which is an introduction. Another class participation, which is creating a company name and logo for your company. And you will begin to analyze your decisions that you will be making in Globus for practice year 6. So, and I'll get to that here in a moment. And lastly, we have a quiz. It's just a syllabus quiz. It's very straightforward. But just to ensure that everyone has acknowledged that, you did look at the syllabus and you reached out to me if you had any questions. Next, we have the Module 1 course content. You're going to see this in every single weekly module. There will be course content. This one is simply just focused on the Globus simulation. So I don't say when you have an opportunity you want to go through this, because this is your opportunity. Week 1 and 2, we're going to be focusing on Globus to allow you to gain an understanding of the simulation. If you don't take that time in the first 2 weeks to understand, because there's not so much, I should say, I don't give you so many assignments to grant you that time. So if you just do the bare minimum, then once we get to week 3 and 4, you're really going to struggle. So please, please, please take the opportunity to learn about Globus now. You can always ask myself if you have questions. You can ask your teammates, so on and so forth. But by week 3, there really shouldn't be any excuse of you not understanding the simulation itself. So, all right. So let me go back to week 1 module here. So then what I always do is I create links within the modules to the assignments. And then you're also going to see the same links within the content area or the content menu on the left-hand side. Just to make it easier, say you complete most of them, but just not one, so you don't have to dig through the module again. So if you're wondering why they're in 2 different locations, it's hopefully for your convenience. So we have a syllabus quiz, like I already said. It's very straightforward. Should be any issues. You have a course participation introductions. Simply just introduce yourself. Okay, it's a discussion board. I'm sure by now, being Capstone, you have already completed discussion board in the past, so that should be very straightforward. Next one we have is the course participation, company name and logo. Okay, this is going to require more work because you're going to have to now get with your team and decide on a company name. Your company name has to begin with the company letter that Globus assigns you. So if your company is company B, your company name has to start with a B. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you're trying to come up with a company name. Now, your logo could be anything of your choice. Preferably, I want you to create one. I have seen in the past where students will take kind of like an existing one and tweak it, which that's okay. But to me, more beneficial would be create your own company logo. So just keep that in mind. You can use any application you want. If someone is great at drawing a logo, I'll take that too. As long as it looks professional, no worries. But that's a team assignment, okay? So not just one person should be doing this. This is a team assignment, and only one team member from each team uploads the logo to the course participation link. Now you say, well, what about that company name? Well, the company name, you do have to go inside Globus and change your company name, which I have included a screenshot of where that setting is to change the name. So it should be no guesswork there. It should be very straightforward to you. Okay. The main focus really on this assignment is to give you an opportunity to start working in teams. Okay. And if you say, well, who's on my team? Who's within my company? I sent each and every one of you an email detailing out who's on your team, also giving you access to Adobe Connect virtual meeting room. If you want to use that, you can do conference calls with your teams. You can do group FaceTime. I don't mind how you communicate with your team as long as you communicate with your team. I actually just taught this class in person last semester. The big issue was communication, okay, with the different teams. Now, with that said, at the end, they all did fantastic, amazing projects. So I have the same high hopes and very high expectations for this class too, okay? And if you say, well, last class was in person, this class is online. Actually, what I did last semester is I gave them an opportunity to stream the class. So I was live in person, and they could stay at home and watch the lecture from home. They did not have to come in person, and most of them took me up on that. And it went very well. The only difference between now is I'm not streaming the lecture. But with that said, if you ever need anything, just let me know. Okay, and your last assignment this week will be to begin to analyze your decisions within Globus. Okay, so you're going to have to create a student account, which then again, I sent you all that information via an email, your company information, your Globus registration code, so on and so forth. So you just have to go in there and register. I also included a registration video for Globus, so that should be very straightforward to you, no big deal. Okay, now, at first glance, it's going to seem overwhelming. What I would say to you is don't let it be, okay? If you started at a new company today, you're probably going to experience some software that you've never seen before, okay? You can't panic. You got to take your time. You got to train, and there's plenty of training. You got 2 weeks to watch the videos, read up on the material, so there should be no reason why you don't have that opportunity to train, okay? And the great thing is you have other teammates. So that way you could reach out to them and say, hey, I'm understanding it. I know how to make decisions, but am I on the right track? Because you have to do this as a team. And when it comes to making, quote, the final decisions, you have to decide, will you talk about it as a team and then one person will make the changes, or will you do it individually in different sections and then the team will review it and see if they agree? That's all up to you. I will not be, mandating a certain method for that. Completely up to you. Now, if I see your team tanking and not doing well at all, then yes, I'll step in and I'll have to give you some kind of structure, okay? Because this is Capstone. I don't want to see anyone fail this course. And with that said, I have no problem where if I have 3 people on a team and 2 out of 3 are doing a fantastic job and the third one is not, they will not receive credit for the work, okay? So don't ever feel like you're doing all the work and everyone else is receiving credit. If that's the case, you reach out to me, okay? I'm like the board of directors of your companies. Okay. If it becomes an issue, you reach out to me and I take care of it. Okay. But my hope is it's settled internally first, though. At least try multiple ways before reaching out to me. Because like I said, this is Capstone. This is like the real world. All right. Moving on, I'm going to go back up to the top here. On the left-hand side, we have a link for Globus. Okay, the very first one is the link to the Globus simulation. You click on it, it'll open up. As you can see, I also have the tutorial videos and the manual posted here within Blackboard. All that information is also posted in Globus. So you don't have to go to Blackboard to watch the videos and then get the manual. You can do it within Globus too. I'm just trying to give you another way to access the information. Okay, so if I go ahead and click on the Globus simulation, here's where you're going to want to actually click on New Student. So you got to click on New Student, and you have to absolutely make sure you follow the instructions and put in the information that I provided for what company you are, what registration code for that company, and what Globus registration is for you. Okay, it's all within an email I sent you. If you can't find the email, please let me know. I can just resend it. No big deal. Of course, I have it under my sent items. So you're not putting me out. I don't want you to struggle with, just getting in. Okay, I'd much rather you spend your time learning the simulation. Okay, let me go ahead and jump back to Blackboard here. So now you see these other links, and you're saying, well, why do we have so many other links? Okay, these are shortcuts to the assignments that are within the weekly modules. So say if you complete everything but like a quiz or a case study, and you don't have to dig through the module again to find it, well, you can just use these shortcuts. That's why they're out there, okay? Right now, LearnSmart's not posted yet, and when I say LearnSmart, I'm saying McGraw-Hill Connect. And yes, you will have to obtain a McGraw-Hill Connect code, which is listed in the syllabus. Okay, and also put that on the course announcement too for you. So you cannot complete this course without it. So make sure you go ahead and get that. We won't use it right away within the first week, but I'll give you a little bit of leeway. But like I said, once we get rolling, you have to have it. Okay. Quizzes, the only one you're going to see posted so far is the syllabus quiz that I already mentioned. Clearly, I have the due date when you should complete it by. And the case studies, same way. It's going to be from McGraw-Hill Connect. But then again, you don't have any yet. That's why I don't see any, but I just post some information and say, hey, this is where you will see them. Okay. So if I move down here, you're going to have a group collaboration tools for each group. You can use some Blackboard tools, discussion boards, wikis, so on and so forth if you want to. Don't have to, but they're there for you. Okay. To be honest with you, my students from last semester didn't use them, but that's not saying that you might not want to use them. So they're still there for you if you want to. The PowerPoint presentations, right now I just have the Globus Simulation one posted, but as we go through the chapters in the book, you're going to see them pop up here. Okay. And then discussion board. Right now you just see the course participation introduction discussion board for right now. You can use this link to access it, or you can go through the weekly modules. Next, we have the student resources, information about Cincinnati State. And I'm sure probably since this is Capstone class, you know the majority of it, but it is there for you if you need it. All right. Next, we have my grades. Okay. In every class I teach, you never have to wonder where you stand. Because I have, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, after you bypass all the different assignments you're going to complete this semester, the very bottom, you're going to see 3 different categories. The first one, you're going to see current average. Okay, that is your current average as of that given moment in time for all graded assignments. Okay, that means if the assignment has not been graded, okay, it doesn't count. So if you submitted one assignment and you got 100 on that assignment, your current average would be 100. Okay, say you submitted 2 assignments, you got 50 on both of them, your current average would be 50. Okay, now that's easy when it's 1 or 2, but we have lots of them. So as you get going, instead of trying to calculate yourself, you just scroll to the bottom and say, oh, my current average is 95%. I'm doing fantastic. Now you would say, well, what's final average? The final average is all the assignments. Okay, so it's your final average for all the assignments. That means including not graded assignments. So when you submit one and your current average says 100, but your final average says 1%, you say, well, why? Well, keep in mind, the final average is all the assignments. And if you would say, well, why would you bother with final average if we have current average? Well, this is why I have it here. I learned from years of experience is what happens is students get really close to the end of the semester and they see current average. And they might see 95%, which is true. Their current average is 95%. But that's only for graded assignments, okay? So they think like, okay, I'm done. I don't have to do anything else. And it's like, no, there's still more assignments out there. So that's why when you look at final average, that includes everything. So the final average will be your true final grade once all the assignments are submitted and graded, okay? Current average is just a guide as you're going through, see if you're on track, okay? If you have any questions about that, of course, as always, reach out to me, okay? Okay, so I'm going all the way back to the top, back to announcements. Like I said, I'll be posting a video announcement every week to try to make it more personal instead of just text. Like I said, at any given time, please reach out to me. Within the first 2 weeks, I'm going to mandate that every team schedules a meeting with me just to ensure that I feel confident that you were able to get into Globus. You're on your way to understanding the simulation. You understand the layout of Blackboard, the layout of the course, the expectations, which then again are extremely high. I can't stress that. Let me say it again, extremely high. Last semester at the very beginning, I did kick back work. I'm like, no, you cannot send me that kind of work. This is capstone, okay? This is not Management 101, all right? So I just want to make sure that's clear. So now with that said, last semester, after a few weeks, fantastic work, amazing work, okay? So now if you would say, can I see some of those examples? No. The reason why I say no is because if I give you examples, then you tend to copy the examples. So, and I don't want that. So that's why I don't provide examples. With that said, if you're ever wondering, or with that said, if you're ever working on an assignment, you want to make sure you're on the right track, you can always email it to me. I'll take a glance at it and I'll let you know. So I'm not cold or anything. I just want to make sure you're just not mimicking someone else's work though. So with that said, this is an amazing class. I think you're going to enjoy it. I believe you're going to find it challenging. I believe you're going to go crazy midway through the semester and saying this is too much work. And by the end of the semester, you're going to be very pleased with yourself of what you have accomplished. So, like I said, as always, feel free to reach out to me. My name is David Hensley. Email address, david.hensley@cincinnati-state.edu. Telephone number, 513-569-1577. Have a great semester.